WRFG Atlanta.
Good morning blues will brighten up your day as you put on your shoes. Yeah, yeah. You know it's got to be the way to wake up each and every day on WRFG in Atlanta. Good morning blues.
Good morning blues.
Wow, 15th of October, and the calendar is flying around. So we got two holidays coming up. Thanksgiving is 5 weeks away, which means 8 or 9 weeks till Christmas. Both of those, I will be gone in Austin, Texas, already pre-planned, basically replacing trips from Easter, rearranging flights. Just want to get out of Dodge, you know? Everybody's so intense. It's like, yes, they have the same COVID issues there, but deal with it a different way. So I need 4 different walls to look at, and that's the plan. But we got some good things coming up in between. In fact, I had a good thing on, Saturday night. Yes, City Winery. In fact, Marion and I took our very lucky spouses to go sit at a nice table in City Winery and watch Raul Marlowe from the Mavericks, who was very comical and with that amazing voice, but he just made it all feel right, that he felt as awkward as we did, because he says, guys, give me a break, okay? I'm going to have to get used to you all staring at me. I haven't been off the couch in 6 months, you know? So it was fun. We had a good time. Nicely laid out. It was something worth doing and reasonably priced. You know, there's been too many giant drive-in shows. What was the one? I just saw a couple recently that just blew me away. The crazy pricing. One is over at the Horse Farm Park, wherever that is. $800 for a car of 4. I'm sorry, you guys are out of your mind, you know. It's a lot of dumb stuff like that going on. I hope you don't subscribe to these kind of things, because it's ransom money is what it is. I paid $50 to sit at a nice table indoors and watch a guaranteed show. So I think that's reasonable under the current circumstances. But anyway, I know I mustn't get on things like that. So there's a lot of good music, a lot of good new things coming out. Some that I've got, some that I don't have yet. You're going to get to grab a sample. So here we go.
Hello, America.
Say that we ain't taking this BS no more. We have finally found an open door, and we're walking through. How about you? When are we gonna finally agree on more than that? We just agree to disagree. Tell the talking heads to make a right and then a left. I just turn it down. We ain't deaf. America, America, America. America, America, America. America, America, America. I love you too. I love you too. painted blue. Don't we all love the majestic purple mountains? Weren't we all fed from the ember waves of grain? Last time I checked, we all drink from the same fountain. Don't we all get wet when it rains? Oh yeah, we're all a shade of black or white or brown, or rich or poor, or gay or straight, or from out of town. So tell me, why can't we all just get along? Come and sing this song. What could go wrong? America.
He's coming down the escalator with a girl from east of here. He wants to make the country greater. We've got nothing left to fear, because the man in the tinfoil hat is sitting on the throne tonight. It kinda feels like a coup d'etat, but it's gonna be great, tremendous, amazing and all that. 'Cause the man in the tinfoil hat is bleeding like a teenage girl. He puts the Pluto in plutocrat, but it's gonna be a huge, huge, huge new world. He hasn't got the time for losers, lest they do as he commands. He's writing checks to his accusers
with those tiny little hands.
because the man in the tinfoil hat is sitting on the throne tonight. It kinda feels like a coup d'etat, but it's gonna be huge, huge, huge.
Take a trip down memory lane. Find that the streets don't look the same. There's no love in the heart of the city. A poor child just can't buy any pity. Singing bars on the window to keep us safe, bars on the corner to help us erase, bars on the door till we do our time. Stars and bars occupy our minds. Have you ever walked 2,000 miles to give a better life to your child? Give me your tired, give me your poor. Huddled masses are at our door. Some folks just get all of the breaks. Some folks just can't tell who are the fakes. I'm just doing the best that I can, trying to love my neighbor and understand, singing bars on the window to keep us safe, bars on the corner to help us erase.
The show I was referring to that just didn't come to mind and wanted it to was Delta Ray and Mark Broussard at the International Horse thing. $800? Really, Mark? Come on, buddy. You should know better. Someone somewhere is lining their pockets, and it probably isn't you. But yeah, come on, boy. Don't. Let's not burn money on craziness like that. Yeah, no booze. Not allowed alcohol. Grills. Can't cook anything. It's over at 9 o'clock. It's outside. Yeah, you've got your car with you, but wow, insanity. Let's go back on the music. So I kicked off with Dennis Quaid. Not the best singer in the world, probably not the best at anything in the world, but you know what? I thought it was an interesting idea for him to say, come on, America, I love you too. And I guess it's good that he's got something to do without any acting jobs. Followed by TODD RUNGGREN, Donald Fagen, tinfoil hat in salute to this guy that apparently is assigned to run your country, John NEMETH and Bars. And that'll take you through to what I have to tell you next, which is I can't remember the track of the band that I want to play from Texas. I'm going to play it and figure it out and come back to you.
I got a girl that I don't know well. I got a feeling I'm gonna let her down. I got no cash in my bank. I got no gas in my tank. I got no good reason to stick around. They say it rains diamonds on Neptune. Saturn's got them pretty rings. The surface of the sun is golden, but who's got time for heavenly things? I drove a Dodge to a dead-end town. The night they drove old Dixie down, I was dishing out pearls to the local swine. On the move, leaving is what I do. I go from neon sign to neon sign. They say it rains diamonds on Neptune, and Saturn's got them pretty rings. The surface of the sun is golden, but who's got time for heavenly things? It rains diamonds on Neptune, and Saturn's got them pretty rings. The surface of the sun is golden, but who's got time? They say it rains diamonds on Neptune. Oh, and Saturn's got them pretty rings. The surface of the sun is golden, but who's got time for heavenly things? Oh, who's got time for heavenly things?
Queen's Alumni Atlanta Chapter presents a fundraising event October 24, 2020 at 6 p.m. Love, Life, and Goats, including a conversation with Jamaican author Gillian Roy on her book, The Goat Woman of Lago Bay, a virtual event like no other. Interactive conversation with Gillian herself, readings of passages, and signed copies of her book, The Goat Woman of Lago Bay, available with access to the conversation. This event is hosted by Paul Abrahams of Rockers International on WRFG and performance by Andrew Lawrence. Once again, the event is Saturday, October 24th, 6 p.m. Tickets available at eventbrite.com. This is another public service announcement from your station for progressive information and handpicked music, WRFG 89.3.
Before that PSA, we had the old 97s from the album 12, Diamonds on Neptune. That brings me to get organized and start playing you something relevant to my guest today. You're going to have a chat with a great chap called Casey James. And he had a super album called Strip It Down about 2 years ago. Since then, he's made more babies than he has music, but takes time to make the to make the good stuff, right? So yeah, he's had 3 kids. It's like, come on, what is this, a machine thing? So anyway, a brand new release called If You Don't Know By Now, produced by Tom Hambridge and some great musicians on there. Very pleased to have him on the show and tell you himself directly about how the music came around and why and what he's all about. Things have changed, I think, quite a bit for him since the last album, the way he lives, and having babies will do that to you. And God forbid he's grown a beard, and he's also in a country-ish trio. I wouldn't want to pigeonhole him like that, but Texas Hill is another little side gig he's got going on. You should check that out as well. Interesting collaboration. But let's play some music from the new album. Then you've got an idea what's coming up. So here it is.
I wanna hold you, wanna be with you, wanna make you feel the way I feel when I kiss you. I wanna get sexy, get in the groove, wanna do the things I only do when I'm with you. Baby, tonight, let me love you right, give you everything you need, all you want from me. You're about to see, I'm here to please, here to please. Here to please. I'll take your breath, babe, with every move. Gonna drive you wild, baby, while I'm doing what I do. There ain't no question when I'm through. You won't forget and won't regret, I promise you. Baby, tonight, gonna love you right, girl, give you everything you need, all you want from me. You're about to see, yeah.
pretty baby, won't you walk with me? Come on, pretty baby, won't you talk to me? Come on, pretty baby, give me one more chance. Try and save our romance. Slow down. Honey, now you're moving way too fast. You better give me a little love, give me a little love. Ooh, if you want our love to last. I used to walk you home, baby, after school, carry your books home too. Now you got a boyfriend down the street, baby, what you trying to do? You better slow down. Honey, now you're moving way too fast. You better give me a little love, give me a little love. Ooh, if you want our love to last.
Come down off your throne and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting so long. Somebody hold the key. But I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. No, and I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Come down on your own and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds a key. But I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. No, and I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. But I'm near the end and I just ain't got the time. No, and I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. And I can't find my way home.
That section kicked off with the Casey James track I warned you about, Here to Please, from the brand new release If You Don't Know Me By Now, and he will tell you a lot more about that coming up, followed by Jeremiah Johnson, Rock and Roll for the Soul. It's a great album title called Unemployed and Highly Annoyed. Kim Wilson back with what appears to be a bit of a collection, or he's going retro. I needed something fast to wake you guys up, get the coffee stirring, get those grinders rocking. Just called Slow Down, and it was very fast. That made sense to me. But I did let you chill out a little bit with a great cover from Blind Faith, which would have been, I'm guessing, 69, 70. And the Starlight Campbell Band did their nice acoustic version of Can't Find My Way Home. So it gets difficult to find your way home, as I found out Saturday night. Oh my gosh. North Avenue, coming out of City Winery, having seen Raoul Marlowe, hit 30 inches of water, and I don't know how we plowed through it, but we just kept going. But tore the plate off the front of my car, so it was pretty serious. Speaking of driving, I wouldn't hang around with this chap 5 years ago if he was out driving around. You think I've got a heavy foot? Let me tell you. No, he's calmed down. Okay, he's had 3 babies. You got to be calm to deal with that. Let's have a chat with Mr. Casey James.
Hi, this is Dana Gillespie from London, England, to tell you about the second best way to wake up. Just tune in to UK Bob and his Good Morning Blues show and feel good for 4 hours on WRFG Atlanta.
Well, it's Good Morning Blues on a Thursday, and I got a great guest for you today. Somebody that you have heard about, but not maybe in the last year or so, and there's good reason for that, because Mr. Casey James has something brand new up his sleeve. Hey, Casey, how's it going?
Man, fantastic. Thank you for having me.
So my number one immediate question, you sent me this album last week. I played it a few times over the weekend, and I said, this boy has been in trouble in school because the front cover is somebody writing their lines. Is this true?
You know what? It's definitely true, but yeah, I never even really looked at it that way. I think the intention for the cover of the record was kind of that. You know, it's like beating it into, you know, the head of, you know, whoever's holding that thing. It's like, look, you know, I think the idea was to let people know this is who I am. It's who I am. It was who I was in the last record, and if you don't know who I am, then here it is, and if you do, then here's some more. It works either way. You know what I mean? Well, for those of you that haven't seen the cover, it just says, if you don't know by now, if you don't know by now, and it's in that lovely big print like you had to write on the chalkboard in school because you were being a jerk, you know, whatever it was. And God knows, see, I've given it up already. The fact that I know that means I got in trouble too, so don't worry about it. You know, but that was my first reaction. Yeah. So now we know that you're not just the sweet honey boy that everybody thinks you are. There's some darkness down there somewhere. No doubt.
But,
no doubt.
I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this, and very much connected to, but an extension from the last album, Strip It Down, only because I like you more in this one, and I don't know what that means to me or to you, other than it seems to me that there's a new you, and I don't know why I'm feeling that, but the lyrics and you seem to have more joy in the presentation and the playing and your singing. So is that for real, or is this just the little magic that Tom Hambridge adds on?
Well, there's no denying the magic that he's added to my music, but I will say it's definitely real. And thank you. I'd like to believe that, you know, my records, you know, are really very, very honest representation of who I am at the time that I make them, which is kind of the goal for me. You know, it's almost like if I wrote in a journal every day. You know, I'm not going to just make stuff up that makes me sound good. You know, if I'm reading it 20 years down the road, I want to know the truth of that moment, and that's the way I make the records. And this record is just reflective of where I'm at right now. I'm in a really wonderful place in life. I've kind of settled into the understanding of who I am, and I've stripped down a lot of the walls that I think I built for myself in regards to music and the way that I perform and play and write. And I've come to terms with who I am musically, and I'm okay with that. And that's it's a huge thing for me, because I'm really hard on myself as a human being, and as an artist, I'm always striving to be better. And I think when I do that to the degree that I tend to do it, sometimes it can keep me from being okay with certain aspects of who I am. And I think being a great artist is that's a big part of it. You have to be comfortable with who you are. You have to feel good about what you do. You have to be confident that it's, you know, that it's what it needs to be. And all it needs to be for me is pure and honest, because it's not a contest. It's not, you know, I used to think I don't play well enough, I don't sing well enough, and some of my favorite artists of all times are certainly not flawless on any level, you know. And that's, I think, one of the things that draws me to music is the perfection inside of the imperfection.
I've never heard perfection. I've heard what, you know, others perceive as that, and I've heard what I felt was that on the night, because there isn't, you know, you can't repeat things to the same standard. So this tells me what I wanted to hear, because what I'm hearing is your confidence level is like right up there, and you're feeling it. And it's not about technically whether you made a perfect play or sang the perfect note or the perfect lyric. It's the fact that you feel good about it. And anything that we go into in life, if you've had something around you, for me, it's my wife, that makes the confidence level superb. I feel like I can climb mountains, I can do anything. And when you've got that kind of rising ability inside you, the next thing that you put your hand on is going to come out the best that you can make it. And I think that's what I'm hearing is in the difference between this and Strip It Down. But they do have similarities. I like the fact that when the horns come in, they're appropriate. They're underpinning. They're not overplaying. They're not in every song. They're in the right place at the right time. And this is a continuation of the same sound in a new person, a new confidence level. And there's some terrific songs in here. You know, the writing is right on there, and I think it's a closer representation of you. So then it all makes sense, right?
Thank you. It's a real weird thing, because, you know, when I made Strip It Down, which is the previous record before this release, I feel like it was all very, you know, keeping perspective and understanding what I mean by this, it was all very easy. In a sense that when I wrote the music, I felt really confident with the music, and I felt it all just, my very first, this is what I want it to be in my head, that's what it was. It ended up, the road was very straightforward for me. There were no twists and turns and uncomfortable moments. It was really, it all worked out very simply. And this current record, strangely enough, I think a lot of it happened at a turning point in my life, and me realizing and recognizing that, you know, who I am is good enough, and musically and personally. And so I was concerned at the beginning of this project that the music didn't meld together enough. It wasn't. I feel like Strip It Down is pretty singular, even though there's a lot of different things going on. It all sounds like it should be on the same record. And when I first started this process for the new record, I didn't feel that way, and that's an uncomfortable place for me personally to be in. And then at some point, I just realized, it's like, look, did I write the song? Do I sing the song? Do I feel good about, you know, what the song says? If I check off those boxes, then I personally, me, am the glue that should hold this thing together, in terms of like, oh, well, some of the material may sound like a throwback type sound, or some of the material might sound really new and current. You know, I've got some stuff that reminds me of New Orleans. I got some stuff that takes me back to, you know, the 50s. I've got some stuff that's definitely, you know, the 70s. I mean, a lot of my inspiration in terms of my musical background and the history of what I've listened to is very apparent in a way that I've not allowed myself to do before. And that's because I've recognized through this process that it doesn't have to be all singular in one thing. It can be whatever I want it to be because I'm the guy that's delivering the package. So I just stopped editing myself and allowed myself to step outside of the box that I had built. And I hope, and this is the honest truth of it, going through this whole experience, the one most important thing that I've learned, and I won't say that definitively because it may be incorrect, but something that I have learned for sure is that I always need to be willing to step outside of my comfort box in this place that I feel like I should be existing, because you just have to be willing to grow and learn. And I say the universal you, meaning myself. I want my next record to be where I'm at, when I'm there, honest, open, and with the full range of possibilities that my brain and heart and soul can come up with. And I feel like this record is a great example of that. That's why I'm super proud of it. And it's why the journey was uncomfortable for me during the making of the record, because I think when you grow like that, it can be uncomfortable, for a moment. And then things that used to be uncomfortable, all of a sudden they're comfortable. So
but that's what makes it real, because the things that you used as examples of different types of songs and your things that you're thinking about are the reality. And a lot of people make the mistake of writing an album, looking at a set of numbers and saying, this has to be a book and these have to be the chapters. That's so untrue. They can all be short stories. And this one works very well, which comes to my other point. I tell people all the time, I said, as George Harrison's term would use, the walking order is very important, and this one you've got it right on. We're going to talk about George Harrison, who came up in my brain on this album when I played it again this morning. But first, we got to give people a listen as to what it is that we are screaming and yapping about. We're talking to Mr. Casey James about his brand new album, where he's reliving his troubled youth of being in school. And if you don't know by now, which he repeats multiple times to make sure that you don't forget, but we're going to jump right in to track number 5, Don't Break a Heart, so that you guys can wake up and go mix your next cup of coffee.
Tell your brothers and sisters, it all comes back around. So don't be messing no fooling, running no games of lies. Care about what you're doing, if what you're doing, no, just ain't right. Remember that there's a good Lord up above you, yeah. Oh, don't break a heart that loves you. Take nothing for granted, babe. 'Cause good love's hard to find. Don't you ever leave them wanting, needing, always keep them satisfied. There ain't no rhyme or reason for tearing someone up inside. When you're dealing with someone's feeling, you better leave them feeling alright. Remember
Sean, inviting you to grab a cup, buckle up, and tune in to Route 66, Sunday morning from 7 to 9 on WRFG. It's a devilish cruise through the blues, jump, R&B, boogie-woogie, early rock and roll, and jukebox jazz.
That two-beat pattern is the music brought to the United States of America by the communist conspiracy to corrupt teenagers, and it's in every rock and roll number.
That's right, we have fun playing all that dangerous music from the 40s and 50s that guys like that didn't want teenage America to hear, plus songs from artists who are still keeping the tradition alive today. So please join us for Route 66, Sunday from 7 to 9 a.m. on WRFG. In Atlanta, we're 89.3 FM. Your independent community radio station is rocking around the world on our free mobile app and WRFG.org.
So we're talking to Casey James about If You Don't Know By Now, and that track I describe in my head as a boogie. What do you describe it as?
You know what? I don't think I've ever tried to I hate to use the term label. I've never thought about it in that sense. I would have to say, I don't know. I call it the rocker of the one of the rockers of the record. It's just an up tempo.
Well, it is. I mean, it's that too. But
I guess the reason it's tough for me to do that, I'll tell you why. It's only with that song is that song is a little bit of a different vibe than I originally wrote it. Like my acoustic work tape of it going in was a little bit more straight ahead, and the day that I tracked it, it just kind of happened really fun and special in the studio, so it's a little bit different. So in my head, it's kind of two different songs, you know?
Well, the rhythm, to me, is important if you want to catch people's ears. I brought a band into town that hadn't been here in 30 years called Canned Heat, and they were the original American boogie band. There hasn't really been one since, so from the 60s, and the drummer, Fido, is still kicking. He's got to be 80-something. And that's awesome. What I was hearing. But then look at where you're from and look at all the amazing Texas blues guitar players that, came out from all the towns around you. What do you have? Johnny Winter, Stevie Ray, Freddie King, Billy Gibbons, Albert Collins, Johnny Copeland, Gatemouth, who is it? Terrence Alexander. Denny Freeman I was talking about last week with my guest of last week, Kirk Fletcher, who dedicated a song to Denny Freeman. You've got Gary Clark. Oh, and so many people. And
it's endless. It's absolutely
I know, and it's crazy.
Three more of my favorites. You got, you didn't mention Jimmy Vaughn, obviously, Brother Stevie. You got Ian Moore, Doyle Bramhall II, who's been one of my favorites for years and years. I mean, there's just, it's pretty insane when you talk about, and we could do an entire day's worth of talking on Texas music, especially concerning the blues and the influence that's had on myself as well as millions of other people. But definitely no shortage of phenomenal guitar players from Texas, which again ties into, as a guy that's been doing it for the amount of years that I've done it, for many years feeling like what it was that I was doing just wasn't good enough. It's because I'm listening to these guys going, oh, yeah, but that's them doing them, and I do me, and nobody can do what they do better than them. And likewise, I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with saying that no one can out me, and that's okay.
That's it. Well,
nobody can out you either.
From a guitar point of view, I will tell you that your DNA is in there. It is your sound. It doesn't matter what you've heard growing up or what your heroes are, etc., etc. You do have your own sound, and I can assure you that it's important to have that stamp and that DNA. But Don't Break a Heart sounds to me, what's the story and how that song came around?
I sat down with a guy that I write a lot with, and was talking about just exes and relationships, and I there was just a few, mainly that chorus for me that's where it all kind of started, was, you know, saying kind of like, remember some key elements in life. These are some like guidelines to go by. Like, don't mistreat people, you know, don't just remember that there's something bigger than yourself. And for me, I'm a practicing Christian. So for me, that's Jesus and the Holy Trinity and so on and so forth. And for a lot of people that doesn't apply. So I just use the term, you know, understand that this world doesn't revolve around ourselves, that there's much larger things going on, and you can look at it a million different ways, but keeping that in mind and treating people right, and especially those that care about you, are key elements to living a successful and happy, joyful life. So that was kind of where the rubber met the road for that song, and then kind of wrote around that chorus. And I didn't want to make it super heavy. That's the thing. It's like I found after kind of listening back to a lot of my music, I kind of have a recurring theme, a message, if you will, of hope and happiness and joy. And in most of all that is based on exactly what I was just saying. It's like trying to treat people right and not putting yourself at the center of everything is a huge part of that. And this song, strangely enough, being kind of just kind of a dumbed down advice song, kind of comes across as a rockin', you know, up tempo, you know, bar song, and I like that. I like the fact that it's almost it's a wolf or sheep in wolf's clothing, if you will, you know.
Yeah, no, but the point is you've got a positive message along with a very upbeat, positive, you know, audio to go with it. I think it gets attention, and it's a good place to be. And whether it was written in the last 6 months or prior, God knows we need that more than anything right now. So that rolls in. I enjoyed the stereo separation on the guitars, things like that. Came across. That always adds, when you're genuinely sitting listening, if you've got a decent system in your car or home, whenever you're not just walking around while music's playing. That's not listening to music. You've got to be
exactly,
you know, focused on it, soaking it up. But those things, yeah, they come around. And I said, you know, he's got something to say here, and it's a good thing. My father's been gone 15 years, and he was a very capable man with lots of things. But if I had to sum him up in one sentence, because he was quite a humble yet talented guy, to him, the number one thing at the top of his list was always do the right thing. And the number of times I've had to negotiate with people that I'm getting some heartache on, maybe a bill that's not correct, or somebody's trying to take me for, you know, some money or something. I've got to put that in there. I say, you know what? All I'm asking is for you to do the right thing. And it just surprises me how often that I do that. And that's what I felt, you know, that was about. And but I certainly like the fact that it kicks off way up there. Hey, look, we talked about that opening cover, how we both concurred that, yeah, you were in trouble at school, because so was I. And somebody asked me once, what kind of trouble? I said, well, not just writing lines. I said, I never hit anybody in school. I said, well, that's not totally true. There was this one time where I threw Christopher Dewey through the music room window, but the little prat deserved it, you know. And they're like shocked to me, because I would always be accused of bullying, because I'm 6'3", so I would never lay a finger on anybody. But that day, he just was little short, squirm. Through the window. I even surprised myself how me and my friends quickly dragged him back in and started pulling the glass out of his blazer. But it's just, I know, it's crazy. I don't know why I thought of that, but you know, this is what the songs are about. So I know that you used to be pretty heavy-footed on the gas pedal. Have you calmed down a bit now?
I have, actually. Yeah, I got 3 children now, and so most of the time when I'm driving around, I'm responsible for, you know, more than myself. And what's really funny is, even as I say it out loud, it's like, well, how about the fact that I was always, you know, you're always responsible for more than yourself if you're on the road, unless you're driving in a deserted island where there's no one else. So exactly. The statement is dumb to begin with, but it just made me realize and recognize the fact that that's the truth, and it always has been, and now I'm more capable of saying, you know what? Also did the math. Most people speed around not recognizing or realizing that it really doesn't save you any time. And I kind of changed my approach in a lot of different places, that being one of them, trying to find joy every day in the things that I do. So if I'm going to take a drive, I don't want to be amped up and anxious and yelling at people and concerned that somebody cut me off. It's like, you know what? If you're in a bigger hurry than me, that's a bummer. Like, I feel for you because I got places to be and things to do. We all do. But, I mean, I guess, again, it all boils down to trying to be considerate of other human beings and just, you know, that's the feeling that I get. So anymore when I drive, I just go, you know what? I'm sharing the road. This is a big candy store, and we all got to share the candy. Let's not all put our hands in the same jar at the same time. Let's just give a little, show some understanding, be happy and joyous. And now when I take a drive, even though I might show up 2.5 minutes later than I would have otherwise, which, let's be honest, what difference does that really make? It's not like I'm going to do something amazing in that 2.5 minutes when I show up. I just enjoy getting around, and I've been using that approach in a lot of other parts of my life. But, yeah, I definitely, as a young man, liked to speed around, which I don't do anymore. So apologies if anybody ever saw me fly by them.
It's good because you're right. It doesn't save anything. The number of times I have counted, particularly since my big wreck last year, that, okay, let go, take off, buddy. You want around me so bad. I'm actually going to move over and wave you like with my left hand. My left hand is only good for two things: hailing a cab and waving like the Queen. Okay, that's its only job. And so I wave at them like the Queen and like, go ahead. And I actually slow right down so they don't feel like they raced me. You know, they didn't accomplish anything.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
and they're not going to get there probably maybe more than 30 or 60 seconds before me. So what? Nothing's changed.
That's exactly
your destination is exactly the same place it was a minute ago. So it's just crazy.
I could be self-projecting on this situation totally because, again, this could be a whole day's worth of conversation because I find it really interesting. I really do, especially as folks are in their cars driving to work right now. I find it interesting that it seems that people that I'll be on the road with feel like I'm in some sort of a competition with them. I'm like, man, I'm in my own world. I am on the phone or, hands-free, obviously, or I'm in a discussion with somebody that's in my vehicle, or I've got something on my mind. Like, we're paying attention to the road, but, I'm certainly not in a race, and I get that sense that people are in some sort of competition. I'm going, man, if you need a victory, I am super happy to give it to you. Like,
exactly.
The morning's been rough, or your boss is being hard on you this week. Like, if I can help you out to feel a little bit better right now, absolutely. Far be it from me, man. Come on by, go around me. I used to get into those who's going to be the guy, the winner of the merge. I don't play that game anymore. If it's a merge situation, you won't buy me, you go right ahead. I'll just sit there all day. It just makes life a little bit easier and happier for me. So I'm just doing it.
My daughter bought me some printed lollipops, like table tennis bats, that you can hold up in the window to give messages to other drivers. And I typically would love to pull out the one that says, "You go, girl." Right? It's just a communication thing. We're going to play some more music because I want to talk about George Harrison a little, because I mentioned that earlier and we didn't come back to it, but it was on my mind. It's actually to do with the next song that we're going to play, so it's kind of relevant.
I'm interested.
Yeah. No, we're gonna hit. We're gonna take our foot off the pedal, you and me both. Okay, we're gonna slide down to a track called "A Better Place," and I want to know if that was a goal. And I just thought it felt like a good time to play that based upon what we're talking about. But we're going to let the audience hear it, and they can decide. Those of you that are late, you know the rule. You log on to my mum's website, and you get permission to download a letter from her where you have a genuine, sincere apology as to why you're tuning in late, and it will get you out of trouble. But only my mum, no one else is qualified. And we are talking to Casey James. We're talking about brand new release just out a few days ago called If You Don't Know By Now, and track number 12, A Better Place.
This is John Cleary from New Orleans, Louisiana, and you're listening to UK Bob, the Good Morning Blues.